sometimes you begin to forget where your blessings come from. And you'll think that people are blessing you. But if God can use a dumb donkey, if God can use a dumb donkey, then surely he can use one of your enemies. And what God will do sometimes is he'll take your worst enemy and cause your worst enemy, instead of cursing you, to bless. And they won't even know that they're blessing you. Your boss will fire you and he'll think he's cursing you when all he's doing is pushing you to the job that's making twice as much with better benefits. He thought he was cursing you, but he was. I want you to see something here. I want you to see something in this text, because the Bible says in verse number 10 of chapter 24. Look at what happened. See, the first thing Balaam tried to do was curse God's people. And that's what the devil will try to do. But he knows he's limited. So when the devil can't curse you, the next thing he'll try to do is cripple you. And Israel could not be cursed. So the devil crippled. In chapter 24, actually, we need to look in chapter 20 and chapter 25. Let's look, chapter 25. So here Israel were blessed. But the Bible says, and Israel abode in Shittim. And the people began to do what? Commit whoredom with the daughters of Moab. What's happening? Moab couldn't get Israel cursed by Balaam. So they crippled them through contamination. I think I said something up in here. You need to hear me today. You need to hear me today. Pay attention, because this you might say, well, that don't apply to me. You know that I'm doing all right. I'm going to tell you something. The devil may not be able to curse you, as in take away what God has given you, but he can cause you to misuse or to engage in abnormal use, which is abuse of what he has given you. See, Israel was blessed by God because of the promise made to Abraham. And Balaam couldn't curse him, and the devil knew that. So what happened was, since the devil couldn't curse them, the devil crippled them by getting them to walk away from the blessings of God and contaminating them with the very people who they were supposed to conquer. Watch this. The Bible says that what happened? They began to commit whoredom with the daughters of Moab. And they called the people unto the sacrifices of their gods. And the people did eat and bowed down to their gods. See, anytime we are under a curse, it is not because the devil cursed us. See, you got to, in order to lose your blessing, in essence, you got to give it up. Do you hear what I'm saying? Young people, old people are like, you got to give it up. And in my life, those things that I found myself not being successful in, it's because I gave something up. The devil knows that he's limited, so he gets you to give it up. And this is what Israel was doing. They started getting comfortable. And they started engaging in false worship. And the Bible said, and Israel joined himself unto Baal Peor. And the anger of the Lord was kindled against Israel. I've come to tell you, it may not be Balaam, but right now the devil is the accuser of the brethren. And guess what? He knows when the blessing of the Lord is on your life. You ever notice that when God is blessing you and things are going good, and all of a sudden some things start happening, or when God is about to bless you, some things start happening. You develop new enemies. Hello. You develop new enemies. You have new challenges. All these things are coming up. It's because God is about to bless you again, and the devil knows he cannot curse who God blesses. So what he wants you to do is he wants you to abuse the blessings of the Lord. And Israel got so comfortable being blessed that even though they weren't cursed, they started being crippled by their own lust. And the Bible says that Israel joined himself. And notice the language of the text. It becomes singular, which shows that Israel in a uniformed way disobeyed God. It didn't say that Israel joined themselves, because this is not talking about a person. This is talking about a nation. But the language of the text says Israel joined himself unto Baal Peor, and the anger of the Lord was kindled against Israel. And the Lord said unto Moses, take all the heads of the people and hang them up before the Lord against the sun, that the fierce anger of the Lord may be turned away from Israel. And Moses said unto the judges of Israel, slay ye every one his men that were joined unto Baal. See, the devil can't curse you. You got to give it up. You feel like the blessings of the Lord are upon your life? Wonderful. He can't curse you because God has blessed you, but he can cripple you. And if you don't believe me, you just ask Samson. Samson's prayer. I need to tell you this. Samson's prayer in Judges chapter 16, after they captured Samson, and this is an example. See, they couldn't touch him, okay? Samson was blessed. He was under the Nazarite. I mean, they tried to take him. They tried to grab him and take him, and he'd shake loose and break loose. They tried to take him again. He took a jawbone of a donkey and went to work, killed 1,000 men with a jawbone of a dumb donkey. But then the Bible says, when he laid his head on the laps of Delilah's, on Delilah's laps, the Bible says that she called for a Philistine to cut his hair. The first thing they do is they bind him and they put out his eyes. You know why? Because even when Samson prays, he doesn't say, Lord, please avenge me for the way they took me into bondage. No, he says, Lord, avenge me for what the Philistines have done to my two eyes. Are you with me? Watch this. The devil knows he can't curse you. So he wants to contaminate you long enough to cripple you so that if you ever regain your strength, you'll never be able to function like you used to. They put Samson's eyes out because they figured that Samson just might get his strength back. There's more of a chance he would get his strength back than his vision. So the devil was crippling. I need to bless. 10 of y'all are going to be delivered in here. The devil was crippling him because he could not curse him. So that if Samson ever got strong, even though he could fight with the same strength, he couldn't fight with the same vision. And God is my witness, the devil does that to us today. He can't curse us. The message from the dumb donkey is you cannot be cursed if God has blessed you, but be aware, because though you can't be cursed, you can be crippled. Did you hear what I said? You can't be cursed, but you can be crippled. And some of you are living witnesses. The devil didn't curse your life, but he crippled you in a way. You can still walk around saying you're blessed, but you've got some scars right now that are blocking some blessings. And the reason why your scars are blocking your blessings is because you got comfortable with the fact that you couldn't be cursed, so the devil crippled you. And the only way to stay blessed is not to be contaminated.